Hey everyone, this week I've been driving this 2020 Ford Ranger, which means it's time for another mountain bike tailgate pad load up test. Although I do recognize that it is December, it is snowing, and I'm probably not going to ride my bike for another 5 months. So here's the Ranger. As you can see, this is a crew cab model, so it comes with a 5-foot bed. You can also get an extended cab that comes with a 6-foot bed. Speaking of the bed, it's pretty tall, pretty deep. You'll notice that the tailgate is actually not damped. So that's a pretty harsh opening. The only other midsize truck, as far as I know, that doesn't have a damped tailgate is the Nissan Frontier, and that thing is about 15 years old in its current design. So a little surprising that this thing doesn't have any kind of damping to the tailgate. Anyway, this one comes with a Ford accessory tonneau cover. It's a hard tonneau cover, so we'll have to fold it back in order to get the bike in. So you do that, you pull this thing, one section, there's another cable under here, pull that, flip that up, and that's as open as it gets. And then you've got these little clips here where you can clip it down. You can even ratchet it tight. So that's not going anywhere. So this is a steel bed. The Tacoma uses a composite bed, as does the Honda Ridgeline, but this one is steel, very utilitarian. It's also pretty deep. I can still get my hand all the way over the bedside, but it's still deep. That'll be convenient for when you're carrying a lot of things. Spray-on bed liner, also nice, feels finished. Yeah, now let's get this tailgate pad on. And for this, we'll be using my trusty $20 Dakine tailgate pad. So this is a size large, which would normally be for a full-size truck like the Ford F-150 or Toyota Tundra. But the reason it was $20 is that the previous owners modified it. They cut this chunk out of it right here so that it could fit a Chevy Avalanche, which has a strangely sized bed. So for that reason, it works a little bit better on these mid-size trucks than it normally would. But either way, it won't be ideal, but it will be guaranteed to cover pretty much the entirety of the tailgate. These pads are sized either large or small medium. Size large is for your full-size trucks. And then if you have a mid-size, like the Ranger or Tacoma, you'll want to look for a size, they're either called small or medium, but it'll be the smaller of the two available sizes. So this is the first time that this pad hasn't really fit a mid-size truck. I've been able to make it work with the Tacoma and the Ridgeline, but on the Ranger here, it's really tight. I could still make it work, and again, at 20 bucks, this would be fine for me. But if you're buying one of these, or if you're gonna use one of these, you probably wanna make sure it's sized for a mid-size truck. Because this one, you'll notice, I had to pull these blocks up here in order to get the tailgate to actually close. The first time I closed it, it was pinching the blocks, and that probably wasn't good for the pad or the truck, but I was able to make it work. Another thing you want to look at are the taillights. Are they still visible? And these are, for the most part. They're still a little bit covered. This flap does not line up with the handle too well. You can still access the handle, but not perfect. And then Ranger has a slightly deeper bed than the Tacoma and the Ridgeline. So there's more of the tailgate exposed along the bottom here. Let's now load my bike in and see how it all fits. That's not ideal. I don't know if that's recommended or not, but it'll work for this at least. Okay. So, if you plan on transporting mountain bikes in the bed of your Ranger, we learned right there to not opt for this accessory hard tonneau cover. Yeah, I probably wouldn't want to ride around with it like that, especially because it's blocking out all of your rear visibility. But tonneau cover aside, the bike fits pretty well in there. It sits down pretty low, again, because this bed is pretty deep. Sits on there well. Tailgate pad does cover enough of the tailgate. There's no chance that the metal part of the tailgate is going to come into contact with any of the metal parts of the bike because the pad still comes down below the bottom of the fork there. So we're good there. And yeah, could probably fit, as with most mid-sized trucks, in a pinch, 4, 5 bikes would be pushing it, but you could probably do 4. So there's a quick look at how a tailgate pad and a mountain bike fit over the tailgate of a Ranger. It wasn't too hard to get that on there. First I struggled a little bit, just had to find the gaps along the bottom of the tailgate and the back of the bed. But once I figured that out, it was pretty quick, pretty easy to get it on there. One thing we did learn is that unlike on the Ridgeline and the Tacoma, where you can make a size large pad fit, here on the Ranger, you're definitely going to want to make sure you get a pad that is sized for a mid-sized truck. And depending on which manufacturer you go with for your tailgate, that's going to be either a size small or medium, but definitely not a size large. Thanks for watching.